It's a happy cat. Would you believe it? She's 21 years old. She's also just tried eating some elastic bands. So she's got a little excited, I imagine. Isn't that right, Sweepy? Now the reason why we're here is because of this. This, hopefully, it's humongous in a way, is a keyboard. Now, there's a happy cat around. It is from the Amstrad 4MB personal computer, which I imagine relates to the RAM in the machine, because it's actually from one of the older 386s, the PC2386. Now, the reason I have this is because I believe this connector will work with my Amstrad PC4386SX, which, because it uses Amstrad's proprietary connection, this sucker, I have not been able to do piddly squat with it the whole year and a half now that I've had it. So actually, because I'm going to be out this afternoon, I am going to go into the attic to get it out. And I'm going to try it. Rubber feet, some sort of cavity void, probably for clips and add-ons and stuff. And we have its model number, made in Korea. Just quite surprised, although not much more you can say to it. It's just a keyboard, shorter space, dirty, very yellow. This camera is not very good for it, but it's quite a brownish hue to it more than anything. Yeah, the keys come up better. F key is not as bright as it looks. So I'm going to go in the attic and get my PC4 down. And I'm back. Been in the attic. I left it conveniently right within arm's reach of the entrance, so I didn't have to mess around. Yes, this is the PC4386SX. My old video is still on YouTube. It is an extremely small form factor desktop PC. Let us get some zoom out on this thing. And to be honest, this would be everything you'd need in a basic office job at the time. I mean, look at the size of it. Diagonally it measures, I could get a measuring tape as such, however we've got 12 inches, so it's shy of around 13 inches diagonal across. Well, diagonal, not across, because that's that way. So it's about 13 inches diagonal, shy of 10 inches wide. It has a depth, let's balance this thing. The actual case depth itself is under 3 inches, and it is 10 inches long. So this thing is tiny in relation to many of the computers people think of the time, especially things like my actual 486 itself in its generic case. However, with that tininess comes like a functionality. For example, I have had this apart. We had a power cut a few months back, think it was in December. It lasted about 3 or so hours, and in that time I decided to strip it down and open it up. The floppy drive, as you can see, is on the right. It's a single floppy drive, 3.5 inch 144 unit. We have this drive cover here, and in this drive cover is the activity lights at the top, the badge. Annoyingly it's cracked, but it's held together. 2 circular protrusions and an indentation of which you open up the flap. On here is voltage regulations and all that lot. Just basically telling you, well, it's its model sticker rather. What am I on about? Of course, you can read that right there and then. Let's actually put it, there we go. You also have a serial port and the Amstrad design keyboard port. Now, the actual keyboard for this, which would come with it, would fit perfectly as elongated. So it obviously all sits in here. You run your cable through, run it straight through, plonk her in, fit her in, done. Same with your serial cable, and that's why there's so much room. I have actually just literally tried this before filming. This will fit at an angle, so it means that that can't shut. I do not care, as long as it means I could test the damn thing. Fitting in a serial port mouse might be a bit interesting though, if that's the case. Although, on the back, there is another serial port, so 6 and 2 3s, I can either use COM1 or COM2. Literally limited space, onboard video, onboard parallel and serial again, so there's 2 onboard serial. That appears to be a parallel, if I'm thinking right. That's Centronics version. No, not Centronics, just regular parallel, or it's 25-pin serial. Sound card, although I believe it's another, like the Amstrad Mega PC, it's just a beep boop ad-lib card. So you get the plonks and a bit of MIDI. That's about it. Fan for the power unit, all nicely cleaned out. Still a bit grindy, but it's old. Again, like many of these older machines, your input pass through to monitor, which, probably knowing the size of this thing, would have been at a push the Amstrad 14-inch, most likely the Amstrad 10 or 12-inch screen. Or even 8 to 10 inch, I would have a guess. Like, this is, for its time, small. So, I'm going to clear away some junk, hook her up, be back. Silly me! I forgot. Yeah, we have a serial port there. However, I thought, oh, I'll take the ends off, make it just a bit easier and fit it in loose. Of course, that is already a female port, so I will have to use the male port on the back anyway, so I shall quickly rebuild the mouse. Okay, so it appears to be more ill than I thought, in a way. And when the floppy disk is in, the drive makes a weird noise, so I'm probably going to have to open it up. That's not the fan. Sounds like a motor or something's got stuck. I can't tell whether it's reading properly or not because it just seems to not be able to initiate the disc properly. The BIOS just crashes whenever you try and do any of that. So I'm actually probably well, come on out. Let's try. Maybe it doesn't like the keyboard. No, it's full on crashed. I'm gonna have to strip it apart and working it from there. So I'm going to patch these videos together and then start working on it. See if I can get it to at least... No, see, there we go. Look. The BIOS clock's fine. Interesting. So the clock is fine, but it seems to crash. Right. I'm just going to try something and then I might be back again.